Hello. Welcome back to part 2 of answering questions 1 and 2 concerning finding the missing ordered pair value as well as determining the equation of a line. So I'd like to go into in-depth understanding of slope, which is the m in our slope-intercept form, and understanding what the y-intercept is concerning the slope-intercept form. Now, if you're unsure about y-intercept, or if that's new to you, please watch one of my videos I've uploaded that you can view concerning finding x and y-intercept. It's going to give you a lot of information that will be reviewed in this particular video. So I'm just going to jump right into it. Slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. And here I'm color coordinating each of these particular letters in the form. Y equals mx plus b, where your m is going to represent your slope. Your b, and I'm showing you here with an arrow, your b will equal your y-intercept. The y-intercept is when x is always 0. You can substitute that 0 into the equation for x. The slope times 0 is 0. That gives you y equals the b value, which will be your y-intercept. If that doesn't make sense, just hold tight. We're going to get pretty in depth into a lot of this information. So I'm going to try to go slow, take it step by step. So again, in order to find the y-intercept, right, or the b value, your b value in the equation is your y value when x is equal to 0. All right, I want to emphasize that. So I also want to talk about the m. The m here is your slope, right? M is your slope. So m in any equation, right? It could be 1, it could be 1/2, it could be 5, it could be -12. Whatever value is in front of that x next to the equal sign will be your slope. And it will always be a fraction, y over x. Now, you may see a 1x, or x by itself, or a negative x, right? That invisible 1. It's still going to be invisible 1 over invisible 1. It will always be a fraction. Let's say it's 5x, right? Well, underneath that 5 is an invisible 1. Check out my videos on invisible 1. It will clarify this. So 5 would be the top part of the fraction. Invisible 1 would be the bottom part of the fraction. The 5 would represent the y. The invisible 1 would represent the x. So this m value is the slope. It will always be a fraction, representing y, which is the rise and run on the x-axis. And then x will represent the run left to right on the x-axis. Again, rise, up and down, over the run, left to right. Your slope is always going to be a fraction. It's always going to be a fraction. I can't emphasize enough. So let me show you here what I was talking about. So if this m value in an equation, let's say, is 3, y equals 3x plus 2, right? Let's say that m value was a 3. Well, again, there's an invisible 1 underneath that whole number unless there's another number assigned to the denominator's place, right? There's always an invisible 1. So in this case, the slope is 3, representing y. The invisible 1 represents x. Will rise 3 and will run one direction in the positive x value. My slope is 3 over 1. So it will always be a fraction. Always be a fraction, right? And so there's something important you need to know, and I'm going to show you here. In slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b, you can always use the slope-intercept form to graph a linear equation. That's just a fancy word of saying a straight line. Given the slope, if you're given the value of the slope m, and the b value, remember the b value represents that y-intercept, right? So y equals 3x plus 1. Well, you start at your y-intercept where x would be 0, y would be 1. And you follow the slope, up 3 over 1, up 3 over 1. If that doesn't make sense, I will get into that in a couple other videos to show you how to graph using only the slope and the b value of any equation. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to say here. Let's continue on. And so in this example, y equals 3x plus 1. Again, 3 is going to represent your slope, right? And it's always going to be a fraction. 3 over 1. 3 represents the y, that invisible 1 represents the x. I'll go up 3 in a positive y direction, and that invisible 1, I'll go over a positive 1 in the x direction, right? That's my slope. And you always, if you're going to graph using your y-intercept and the slope in any equation, you always start at your b value or y-intercept, where x is 0 and y is 1. Right? Use this x and y plot point to follow your slope. Rise over run. I don't want to go too fast. I want to go slow and explain this clearly. So again, my b value here equals 1. That's my y-intercept. Well, what do you mean that's your y-intercept? Well, x will always be 0 in my y-intercept. And my y value is whatever is in the equation at my b placement. So my y value here is going to be a positive 1. X is 0 and y is 1. Why? Because my b value, which is my y-intercept, x will always be 0 in my y-intercept, and my y value is that b value. So I can start at 0 for x, positive 1, in graphing, starting to graph my equation using only the slope and my y-intercept b value. So again, check out y-intercept video. It will clarify a lot of this if this is confusing for you, okay? So what I would like to do is continue in the video part 3 and show you how to use your slope starting at the y-intercept plot point of 0 for x, 1 for y, in order to graph an equation. And it's especially important that you understand the y-intercept and your m slope value in order to answer those 2 questions I introduced in part 1. Hey, thanks for joining me. Math is easy. Take it step by step. I will continue what we started here in this video in part 3. If I've helped you, please help me to continue bringing these videos to you. Your donations are greatly appreciated. Thank you.